Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. I have been thinking a lot about politics versus relationships, politics versus man and the manosphere, the red pill. And I know I've been thinking about this a lot. One reason is because different novels that I'm working on and different characters, especially the characters that my main characters are either dating, divorcing, breaking up with, how they got into those relationships. And I base them all on real life situations that I have been in. And I've told so many stories. You guys already know about Mr. Lockakey. You already know about Mr. No Heart. And I'm telling so much more on Mr. No Heart officially because I started the series of the over 40 reasons why I broke up with Mr. No Heart. Literally, there are over 40 reasons. And with a lot of the reasons, a lot of them are taught at home from parents. A lot of them even at church, and it's really, and even with childhood development with toys, because things are kind of now changing. I am seeing some toy makers and some parents buying their sons dolls or kitchen sets and things that used to be for the girl, because the girl is supposed to be a good wife and cook nice hot home meals and all that great stuff. And I like there's children's ironing boards and stuff like that and laundry, and it's just, yeah, all of it is, it's pink because it's for girls. Yeah. Oh. And then you get the lawnmowers. It's like I think sometimes you might see them for girls or neutral, but most time it was for the men, for boys and stuff like that. But thinking about all of these things, and then also with some videos that I'm seeing online, there is literally a woman who was doing an interview. I believe it was like there's different, witnessed or watched about 5 different awful toxic relationships. Some were with the spouse, some were without. And this one woman was saying how she, to keep the relationship tame or together or whatever, she will iron his clothes for him to leave and cheat. She will iron his clothes, the same clothes he's going to put on, leave the house, and cheat on her. I would end up, no, that's not me. And I've talked about in earlier videos. And if you're new, hi, hello. I have over 300, I think close to 320 episodes now. So you have a lot of catching up to do. So yeah, chop, chop, do that. But anyway, with one thing that I've really stated, and actually, I think 4 or 5 different videos, is how for a lot of men, they are taught since they were young, either from fathers, uncles, church, school, whoever, how a woman is supposed to be. Who is a woman? Because when I say school, a lot of books, like most of the books we read, it's a damsel in distress. It's a woman who always needs to be healed or found or saved by a man. And but then they want to ban certain books, or they want to ban books that either talk about those issues or talk about leadership with women. And then a lot of men in the manosphere with the red pill are telling Generation Z and even late millennials, women can't be leaders, women can't be independent. But if you've been listening to my Why Did I Break Up with Mr. No Heart, you would understand. It was a little bit of a pause because it's just like, how do I say this in a nice way? And I'm still calculating it. But when you have men out here who try to be macho, they try to follow all of these manly stereotypes, but then they're not, you can't check off any of it because it's all fake or it's all an image. But then the person they date, they try to pick a woman who they a lot of men want to train, especially Republican men, conservative men, and even more conservative moderate men. They want to train the woman to be who they want. They don't and I'm going to go back to the first subject in a minute because it relates to this. Men, dating is an interview because I know with my dating standards, I have a bullet point. I have a bullet list of things that I require. And a lot of men hate it. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But I had to put that list together because men were trying to train me on being a woman I didn't want to be. They wanted to train me on creating an identity that fit their ego, that fit their insecurities, that allowed them to have power or more power or some power or imaginary power. They wanted me to devalue myself, deflate everything that I have accomplished on my own. They wanted my money, like even like especially okay, black men, I don't know how many times I've heard black men tell me only white people invest or investing is for men. And or when I tell them that I've invested because I want to get ready for when I want to retire. I want to make sure I am able to retire. I want to make sure that I am able to travel and do this stuff. And the next thing I know, they tell me once you date me, you're giving me your account numbers. And I'm going to show you, like, oh, I want these shoes and we're going to travel. And I'm like, no, no, okay, so if there's no money in there to invest, how is it going to grow? How does zero grow? How does like zero is about the only number or is the only number that doesn't double. So, I mean, even negative numbers double. Yeah, you don't want that either. But okay, so I'll say any positive number past zero. Yes, you do not want. And oh, this is political though, but just know how, because a lot of, remember, I'm a progressive, democratic liberal. I'm very hardcore progressive though. I keep hearing like different conservatives say how Biden didn't do anything and oh, you're a liberal. That means you love Biden. That means, and it's just like being a Democrat, being a progressive is nothing like being a Republican now because the Republicans praise or act like their leader should be the king or dictator or whatever. That like Democrats, progressives, liberals, we're for democracy still. That's one reason you didn't see us do what they did on January 6th. But it's funny how they want to take the credit for January 6th until it's time to get in trouble. And then next thing you know, they say that was Antifa. But then when they are, let out, not even for good behavior because a lot of them ended up getting arrested right after they got out. And right now, one of the guys, leaders, whatever, who got let out, he stated in a speech that Americans are from Europe. Americans can only be white, but what about Native Americans? What about the first people who were here? They're the true Americans because this is stolen land. Americans or Native Americans. Okay, you're an immigrant into this land. You're not the original. Stolen land. Stolen land. And that's another reason conservatives hate me. And that's one reason why being a Republican is like, yeah, cannot be a Republican, cannot be an Orange Man supporter, cannot be a conservative is at the top of the list because they hate me the most. Because almost every debate I can prove, like, I prove my case, but the thing is, like, sometimes they shock me. They say some of the most idiotic things. And sometimes I'm like, I need to look that up. But then they're like, ooh, I got you. No, like, what you said was absolutely still. How you want me to go you sound like Lauren Boebert. You sound like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Not like, no, no, honey. Yeah, so anyway, it's just at a point where when it comes to dating versus politics, when it comes to some men having the nerve to have their woman iron their clothes before they go and cheat, it's like, man, okay, if your ego's that big, iron your own clothes. Learn to iron your own clothes. And it was crazy how, because men were having his back. Oh, that means she's not providing for him in bed. That means she needs to do a better job. That means she needs to. But then when you switch it, when you switch it, oh, that woman's so selfish. She better not. It's like a woman better never cheat. It's like, what did he do to her? He's paying the bills. And but then sometimes it's crazy because men say things, but then they don't listen to the entire video. Because this was like a year or two ago, but I was listening to a scenario that was kind of similar, but wasn't ironing the clothes or whatever. But she was pretending that she didn't know. She was like, she knew, but she was still making the lunches and the dinners because she was trying to figure out, how do I end this relationship? But I don't want to fight, especially if you have kids. I don't want the kids to be involved. I don't want to stress them out because I want them to go to school, be happy, go to soccer, theater, whatever. So she did anything and everything she could. And that's what I call being a leader. But at the same time, you can only lead for so, like, no, that's exhausting. And so for me, I'm just like, when you have to leave because you're allowing this man to treat you like an idiot. You're allowing this man to do whatever, like to damage you. Because while you're pretending you don't know, he is just having a ball. He is doing what he wants. And I remember there was another guy. I think this one was last. Like, see, there's so many examples, and and this is one reason why millennial or generation, like Y, millennial or generation X, Y, and Z are becoming very toxic because some of them are wishing that their wives or whatever were going to be quote unquote well behaved, like back in the 50s, when in the 50s depression for women were skyrocketing, where so many of the housewives were hiding their 420 because they were so stressed out and they couldn't stand their husbands, and they couldn't work, they had no money, they had no way to leave, so then they had to suffer through it. And do you know how many women, like how many of my, especially my family members, they're like, don't get married, don't, like, because some of them tell me, don't get married, it's a waste of time, don't do it, don't. It's like, they don't tell me what my ex, Mr. No Heart, told me about the kids, because he told me his kids were a mistake. So, and I still want kids. I'm gonna do it the unconventional way, which I know Candace is gonna hate, and I love that she's gonna hate that for me. Oh, it just tastes delicious. But anyway, I will do it the untraditional way because I want to be able to have my happy life. And it's crazy how they keep, and I keep saying it's crazy because it is all crazy. But when I see story after story after story of men getting mad when women leave them because the man is not, either he's cheating or he lied about like the bills, or he is forcing her not to work, or he's mad that she is buying things with his money, but he's telling her not to work. But you know, and I thought about this a few days ago, and I'm still working on the contracts because I want to create like bedroom contracts and things like that. Because it's like, and this is for like when, like at the beginning of dating, like when you think you're actually going to, start a relationship and get that together. Because when a lot of men cheat on women, sometimes it's like, it's because she won't do A, B, and C. And it's like, okay, well, did you talk about this at the beginning of your relationship? No, she just needs to learn. But you won't do X, Y, and Z. No, because that's stupid. No, that's a waste of time. No, that doesn't do anything for me. So you only want her to do for you. You only want her to do for you. And when I watch like divorce court episodes, oh my God, like I keep, it's like a repeating thing where a lot of the men, they're so selfish. And I just created the one of the reasons, or the first reason that I talked about breaking up with Mr. No Heart was because he is one of the most selfish men I have ever met in my life. But I keep meeting selfish men. And I think this is one of the points where I said, I need, once I meet my therapist, I need to figure out how come I keep running into selfish men. And or is my list the reason why I'm still single, because I'm shooing away the selfish men? Because if that's why I'm still single now, hallelujah, praise the Lord, it's working. Yes, I'm getting older, but let's just say you have a lot of videos to listen to, because they like, I was not happy anymore. I wasn't. I wasn't happy for years. And with a lot of relationships, when it's like, men always gaslight, they always try to find the reason or justify why the man was allowed to do the woman wrong, why the woman should stay home with the kids. But when the woman needs a break, they call it babysitting. A lot of them, they call it babysitting. Or when they're like either divorced or breaking up, or like whatever have you, is like the expectations of the woman is skyrocketed compared to the man. But then the man never wants to give the woman credit, because the men feel like they're obligated all of the time. That's their role, that's their title, that's not their obligation. Even though the woman might work more, make more. And that's another, because I can't, with my ex, he never loaned me money. He might would buy me some food here and there, or a stuffed animal on Christmas, but he didn't value me. He didn't see much in me, but he would always ask me for money. Always. That man owes me so much money. And I say owes because I want that money back. And it's like, yeah, it's like I said, yeah, I was stupid to, because I thought once he got his, I kept thinking, once men get their stuff together, they're gonna, pay back. And it's like, no, no, no. And that's another thing I'm getting ready to, post and sell on Etsy. Money payback contracts. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Because it is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous with how a lot of men, including Mr. No Heart, say they are not going to be the white knight or whatever, but then they keep expecting more, and just a growing amount more from the woman. They always want her to have their back. Like, even if they're not her kids, they want her to go to their concerts and theater or whatever. But then it's like, either they want her to work, but then they want her money, or they don't want her to work, but then they will say how much she is allowed to spend. And when you're first dating, and I keep saying this because, yeah, when you're first dating, it is an interview. It's like, men keep getting mad at me because you treat dating like an interview. Because it is like, I want to date for, like, I'm never getting married again, but my long-term relationship, someone who I want to spend time with for the rest of my life. Yes, it is an interview. It's like I'm at the point in my life where men kept pretending and kept using me and kept just flat out just being absolute ignorant liars. And some of them loving the lies because since they're a man, they're going to figure out a way to get out of it. They're going to find an excuse or a reason for them to be able to do so. Men do this with financial, like physical, mental abuse. They do that all the time. So while a lot of them say we need to fear trans like people because trans women and men and all this other stuff, it's like when women are trying to escape their marriage, a lot of us are in harm. Several of us are in harm's way because of the man's ego. Because a lot of them do not want us to leave them. They chose us. They want us to be stuck with them for the rest, like even if we're not happy. Even if we're not happy, they don't care. And so that's why dating is the most important interview you will ever go through in your life. Because if you decide to stay with them and then later leave, some of them may not give you that option. Some are literally, if you've been watching some of these the real life mystery things, you're gonna see that some men are gonna be like, it's either me or no one. And even in prison, I think over the last year and a half, there's been the second or third woman who went to go see her husband for, I guess they had, their, little visiting time or whatever. And they were alone, and the wife ends up dead. Yeah. And I think one of them, he's like, he was jealous because she looked beautiful. And so he knew that she must be getting attention out there in the world. Yeah. With Mr. No Heart, there was a time where it's like, I kind of still don't care what I look like because, especially, I'm not dating. I don't like, but I need to start caring for myself. But having a disability, like, I get stared at so much that part of me is just like, what's the point? No one like, when people stare at me, either they ask, what's wrong with you? Or did you get like hit by a car? Like, just very ignorant, stupid stuff. But at the beginning of when I was dating him, I did, at least care a little bit. I would put a little blush on, eyeshadow, whatever, and then some of my cuter outfits. But I was dating at a very toxic school where students were literally bringing bleach to school, well, one reason why I wore the same like 5 or 6 outfits all school year. There were some students who said I must be homeless. And I'll tell that whole story later on. But one reason was because they were literally throwing bleach on expensive outfits and things that I worked my tush off to get, or Christmas presents for my mom or whatever. So, but the other reason is like, because at first I was like, okay, I'll just find some cute clothes on sale, things that are cute, but I don't really care about or whatever. But then, like, while dating my ex, we would go shopping and stuff. And sometimes when men are like, oh my gosh, you look so beautiful today. And I remember there was this one guy, we were about to go into Aldi, and he stopped us. And he was like, sir, is like, are you with her? And my ex nodded. He was like, yeah, man, I am. And he was like, did you tell her how beautiful she is today? He was like, honey. He was like, I'm sorry, like, excuse me. He was like, you are just like stunning. And I kind of needed it that day. It's like, I needed that compliment. It's like my ex, like, he never, only if he thought I was going to break up with him or something. But yeah, I never got that from him. Especially almost every time I did get a compliment in public, not from him, he would ignore me for the rest of the day. For the rest of the day. And then, but with this situation, he ignored me almost the entire weekend. It wasn't until it was about ready for me to go, then all of a sudden, oh, he wants some before, like, since I worked 2 or 3 jobs, 4 jobs at one point throughout the work week or whatever. Yeah, he knew he wasn't gonna see me for 5 days, so yeah, that's the and he'd even like, yeah, let's just. Oh, I can't believe I dated him. But at this, when you're dating well with a disability and men keep saying you're worthless, men keep trying to tell you how you're not good enough because you don't walk right. Or some men tell me that if I didn't get so many degrees, maybe my legs would still be strong enough to walk. And so sometimes when people ask me, why didn't you break up with him? Because those were my other options. Those were those were some of my other pathetic, awful, terrible options. Like, what would you do? And yeah, so that's one reason why now I'd rather be single than be with anybody right now. Dating is an interview, especially politically, because if you do get pregnant and then you have complications, is he going to choose you? Is he going to be for you, or is he going to just tell you to pray? Is he going to try to make sure you go to the right doctor to make sure that you stay alive, or is he just going to think, I can find another wife. I can find a substitute. I can find someone new. What is he going to do? What is he going to choose? What is he going to tell you? And that's one reason why it's like I have so many projects I need to work on, and I need to finish my novel. And I'm going to finish kind of with that because with your dreams, make a vision board, or what, like, dream board, whatever. Look at it every day. When you go on dates, look at it. When you come home from your date, look at it. Can you picture him with that? Will he allow you to pursue what is on that board? Because if he won't, he does not fit you. Yes, you might think, but he's 6 feet this, or he has this many inches, and he's this, and he's that, and this is his salary. But is the man going to be your life? Is that going to be your happily ever after? That's another reason why I cheer on the new version of Snow White. Because with women, we are taught that the man is our happily ever after. I promote and celebrate for women to pursue a dream with a man that will be their cheerleader and you be their cheerleader. Tag team, show each other love, compassion, empathy, sympathy. It's just, make sure you guys are your equals. Make sure he's not trying to trap you, especially financially. Always try to make sure you have some money somewhere, because some men don't want you to work because they want the power. They want to make sure you can't go anywhere unless they kick you out, unless they have the power to do it. Trust me, that's going to be one of my next episodes on why I broke up with Mr. No Heart. Because, yeah, he still has a little power right now. And it's disgusting and despicable. And he used my disability against me. It's like a grown man going to do that. And another, like, there are so many reasons, but watch how a man treats other people. Go volunteering. Yeah, I need to do a kind of a list of ways and dates that help you find out who that man really is. I just mentioned one on Blue Sky, and one of the ladies, she loved it because she said she's actually going to try it. And thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman. I am of color and I am handy capable, but most importantly, I am human and you're human too.